Hello, Monday. Hello. Hello, Monday on the Better Man podcast. That's right. It's one of the best days of the week. I know you woke up and you thought Monday, man, Pastor Gary, it is a terrible day on a Monday. But then you remembered, no, it's not. It is a Monday, and that means it is a better man kind of day. What we have learned from research, and they've done a lot of research into this, these scholastic studies for men, has determined that Mondays is one of the best days for a man to get better. And so we wake up and go, okay, I'm all in. Let's go. Let's figure out how we can get better together as men. And today what I want to give you is a little bit of a build on what we talked about on Friday, maintaining our moral integrity, especially in the workplace. I hope that you got a chance to check that out in our 105th episode on Friday. We are in episode 106 today, and I want to continue some of that discussion. Before I get into that, I want to say, as you're watching, thank you. Thank you for watching. And I also want to say, if you get a chance to contribute by making a comment on any of our platforms, hitting the heart button, like button, share button, comment button, subscribe button, or ratings that you give us on any of the platforms, it all helps. It all makes a difference. It gets our information out there so that we can reach more and more men. There is no dollar amount that I get for doing the podcast. It's probably a money loser, I guess, in some ways, when you consider that it takes my time as well. That's not the issue. The issue is, are we winning by getting information in the hands of men? You can help with that by engaging in any way, shape, or form. Okay, so I said that I wanted to talk to you about something I talked about on Friday, kind of being really prepared for temptations that come our way, especially, as we leave the house and in the home as well. There are temptations in the home and things that we can deal with. But when we get outside of the house and away from where our marriage is, our spouse isn't with us, we're maybe, on the cusp of being in some of the wrong settings. We gotta see that it's important that we maintain our integrity in every situation, because the world wants to know that there are people who call themselves believers that actually do live differently. And so let me give you probably some things to be paying attention for that kind of can set the table for you being in maybe the wrong, making some of the wrong decisions in the midst of temptations. In fact, let me give you these three F words for how you are going to probably find yourself in an unhealthy situation if you're not careful. All right. And so the first one is fatigue. Fatigued people are susceptible to all kinds of things. You can get discouraged when you're fatigued, depressed. Temptation makes its way in easier. And when you are not a rested man and you are exhausted and you come home, you're probably not going to be at your best. But when you're exhausted at work, you are going to be a susceptible man. And there are a lot of men who fall prey to temptation in their life because they are tired men. The enemy has always loved to prey on tired people, loves to prey on tired men, making poor decisions. Are you a tired man? If you're a tired man, you identify it, you see that you're susceptible for temptation and low integrity decisions. Flattery is another one. If you are somebody who is in the workplace, especially getting flattered, maybe way more than you are at home, you better watch out. And sure, you would love to be validated and flattered by your spouse at home, and may or may not be that you are worthy of some of that flattering at home. I have no idea. But I can tell you this. If you view the flattery you're getting in the workplace as a little bit stronger than what you're getting at home, you are susceptible. You are susceptible for unhealthy decisions. And look, we want to create an environment where our spouse, where our wife would say, hey, that I am, that she sees how incredible I am, but maybe some of my own decisions are thwarting that at home. But man, then you go to work and you do get praised and you do get honored for the work you're doing at home. The people there look up to you. There's some women that are co-workers with you and they see you as amazing at work and flatter you at work. Look out. It is a problem. Success is seductive. Success in the workplace is seductive. Success in the workplace when you're being flattered and you're struggling at home and you're tired, look out. Problems will begin to develop. And so you got to watch out for that. And then just overall friendliness. People who are high achievers are typically friendly people. Successful people are typically friendly people. And when you are maybe struggling at home, you want an outlet for more friendships maybe in work, and you develop friendships with people at work that probably are inappropriate, and especially with people of the opposite sex. And I know I mentioned spousal here in this podcast and the last one. This is true across the board. You are going to set yourself up for struggles when you are dealing with fatigue, getting flattered all the time at work in a way that causes you to maybe see yourself in an unhealthy way, like maybe you're invincible, and this friendliness with people the opposite sex that leads us into unhealthy places. And so look, we can be friends with people of the opposite sex. We can, absolutely, we can. But there's an unhealthiness, and I think we all understand when we cross that line, and our spouse deserves the very best attention that we can give her, and that has to be happening. All right, so let me give you some helpers here along the way. First thing is, no matter where you are in life, do not consider that you are above temptation. You are a believer and you are drawing air in your lungs. Of course, if you're not a believer, you're drawing air in your lungs. You are susceptible to temptation, and as a pastor, I am susceptible. All of us are, and so we don't ever want to come to a place where we don't think it could happen. Maybe over the last episode and this one, I'm sharing some things, and you're like, not me. Oh, not me. That's already a problem, because it'd be one thing to say, okay, I feel like I'm doing pretty well in some of these areas, but you don't come to a place where you say, no, now I'm no longer susceptible. No, we want to be on guard. We want to be on guard because we have an adversary that's seeking and looking to devour those like a roaring lion. And so we got to be on guard. And then the second thing I put is in order to do well in your work environment and away from home, the business trip that you're going on, in order to do well, the question becomes, how is your spiritual temperature? Are you growing in your faith? Are you in the right place spiritually? You can do a lot better against a spiritual adversary when you're growing and strengthening spiritually. But when you're flattened or declining spiritually and exhaustion sets in, flattery at work, little friendships and flirtations begin to develop, you are headed for trouble in that realm. So look out. What is your spiritual temperature? If you are married, what is the temperature of your marriage? If your marriage is weak, that's a red flag. Watch out. You better pay attention, because the enemy is going to come at that even stronger to try to take you down, because he knows things are weak. And I would say to you, if things are weak at home and you already know it, get to work on it. Get to work on it and get to work on it quick, so that you are not going to make some really dumb decisions in your life. How is your marriage doing? Look out for that. And then, I think probably as we're considering our marriage at home, I should probably share with you some things about your marriage at home. If you are married, you get married, if you're ever going to get married and you're still going to have a work life, talk to your spouse, talk to the person you're dating, talk to your spouse about everything that's going on at work. Talk about that. As men, we like to come home from work and say, I'm not going to talk about it. Don't. Open up, share, let her be a part of things that are happening at work to the extent you can. Relationships, she needs to know everything, nothing kept in darkness that way. And so wherever you can include her, bring her into the story. Keep all lines of communication open with your spouse. When she knows that you may have a business thing that you've got a text and it may be somebody the opposite sex. She has free reign to all of your mobile devices, all of your accounts, so that she can see who you're talking to at any time. She should never see unwholesome talk on a text thread, things that are not related to business. She shouldn't see that, and she should be able, though, to see what's happening on your device. If you find yourself attracted to somebody in the workplace in some way, shape, or form, there's got to be a redirect. That attraction is only for your spouse. That's a red flag, a warning that maybe something's a little weak. You need to be very focused on all of attraction goes towards your spouse. Again, you're paying attention to those kind of warning signs. Talk about how incredible your spouse is in public. If you're ashamed to talk about how amazing your wife is in public, then you probably have people chipping away at you privately to try to get your attention. The more boastful and incredible you speak about your spouse in public, the better chances you have of that person that may be trying to tempt you of moving away. It just helps that way. Develop the right outlets for your emotions and sexual energy, which would be your spouse. That's where your sexual energy ultimately goes to, so that you can make sure you maintain that purity, guarding your mind in all situations, keeping your head on straight in all situations, preparing the understanding that the enemy is attacking, fantasizing, in the workplace is only going to lead you into broken situations. And so you're doing everything you can do. That's why that growing journey with God is so critical every day, so that you are prepared. And remind yourself regularly of the damaging consequences of a failure. I was talking to a men's gathering that I do every Thursday night here at the church. We have about 70, 80 so men that come for a gathering here at the church. And those men, one of the things I was sharing with them is think down the road of this sexual activity and how it's going to break your marriage in the future. How divorce is going to happen, how your kids are going to be broken, how your finances are going to be destroyed because of a moment of poor decision or passion going in the wrong place. And think about the cost of those consequences before you actually step into that. And then, maybe consider that you need to put the boundaries in place even further that I talked about on Friday. Some of those commandments of, hey, don't do this, don't do that. And we don't want to live in a world of don'ts. It should come from an outflow of our heart. But sometimes we got to be paying attention to some of those commandments, those boundaries that we're crossing as red flags to some things that are bad decisions in the future. Okay, just some little things to help ourselves in the workplace. That's all I have for you today. I'm going to pray for you. God, we are reminded again about our time away from home, away from our spouses, how we can be susceptible to things, and we want to be above board in all these places. Help us, God, to be stronger and to be that light in the workplace. In Jesus' name, amen. Thanks again for joining me on a Monday. I will catch up with everyone on Wednesday.